Hello, friend. This is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com, and today I want to talk about how the poverty mentality is oppressive to others and it must be rejected. A lot of times people think about their mentality and they think, well, it just affects me. It doesn't affect other people. But there's a reality in this poverty mentality affects all kinds of people around you. When you have a poverty mentality, you believe in lack and limitation, you believe in scarcity, you project that out to the world around you. Somebody mentions something that's good news, you find something bad in it, or you find a way to see lack in it. Somebody talks about something that could happen, that could be a good thing, you find all the flaws in their reasoning, trying to find something wrong with it. Somebody tells you it's a good day, you whine about how bad it is, and you don't understand what I went through, and you just bring the negativity into the picture. In Proverbs chapter 28 verse 3 says this, "A poor man that oppresseth the poor is like a sweeping rain which leaveth no food." Imagine that picture it's painting for you. Here's this flood of rain comes through and it wipes out all the crops. It wipes out the storehouses and there's no food left. But that's what people do when they're in this low vibrational state of poverty, thinking lack, thinking limitation, not seeing the abundance of God, not speaking the abundance of God. They are like that proverbial rain, flooding and drowning out the good in other people's lives. And it's oppressive to them. Now, many people they're not trying to do that. That's not their purpose or set goal. It's just they're so rooted and grounded in that negativity, they can't even do anything else. And if you find yourself, when you hear about something good, you say, well, what about this? And you're trying to find a fault, you're trying to find something wrong, you have to check that and reject that mentality that's bringing that out of you. Now, I'm going to say what I've said numerous times, which is you have to cast out the news media and all this stuff people keep letting into their hearts. They're not guarding their hearts, not keeping their hearts with all diligence, because that reflects on your daily life. You will have more lack and limitation. You'll have more things to be afraid of. You'll have more things to be fearful and worried about. If that's what you're putting in, the negativity of the world, the drama of the world, the bad things of the world, the plagues of the world, the wars and rumors of wars, and all the negativity they're Bibling about each and every day, that does you no good. I have this discussion with people sometimes because they don't like that I say this, but I ask them, what good has come from your participation in reading and watching the news each and every day? Name anything good, anything that came out of it that was positive, that was an uplifting thing, that worked out great for you. And they never have anything. Well, I'm more informed, I don't want to be ignorant. You're not more informed. You're less informed. You're more programmed, but you don't have more information. The person who's spending their time reading books and educating themselves and improving themselves is far more informed than the person who is blindly following whatever the news media tells them. And listen, I have to be clear about this because people will say, well, what about this channel? It doesn't matter. Anything that's out there in the popular culture that's mainstream is absolutely not for your betterment. There's a reason why they call it programming. It's not because it's for your betterment. It's not because they're trying to get you to become prosperous and abundant. It's not because they're trying to get you to feel upbeat and have a great life. None of that's the case. None of that's their set goals. So believing anything they have to say to you, you're not even in a position to understand and to be able to properly discern the good or evil. You're just being told something, and if it's the particular person who has the particular leaning that you like, then you agree with it, even though it might be wrong. Both sides might be wrong, which is one of the biggest problems. Many times it's all the same thing. It's just repackaged differently depending on who they're trying to target. You have to rise out of that. If you allow those kind of things, that kind of worldly thinking to drown out the goodness of God in your heart, the love of God that's shed abroad in your heart, you won't be able to focus on things that are lovely and good report. You won't be able to make sure that your thoughts are only on those things that are praiseworthy and virtuous. Because you're spending the bulk of your time allowing negative thoughts to rumble in your heart, allowing other people to tell you their negativity, and it does no good. And then, with that poverty mentality firmly rooted in your heart, you spread the poverty to others. You spread the lack to others. You spread the limitation to others. You sow that discord. Not even meaning to. Most people are not doing that on purpose. And yet, each and every day, they're going through talking lack. They're discouraging others from taking a chance in their business, a risk, because it might fail. They're just drowning out the positivity, keeping people down. The crabs in the bucket mentality, pulling the one crab that's about to escape, they're pulling them back down into poverty. No, don't talk about taking that chance. Don't talk about investing in your business. Come back down here and be poor with us. That's not what you want to do. You don't want to be that person that leaves people with a feeling of decrease. You know, Wallace Wattles has the famous quote in the book, The Science of Getting Rich, where he says you should leave people with the feeling of increase. Think of that abundant mentality where people leave your presence feeling uplifted. They feel they can do more. They feel there's more available to them. They feel there's more opportunities, that God's goodness and grace is not limited in their lives. Or they leave feeling worse. They leave feeling down. They leave feeling dejected. They leave feeling like there's not enough. They leave feeling like there's a scarcity and there's a lack and limitation on the horizon. My friend, be that person that is speaking forth as the oracles of God, decreeing good things and seeing them be established unto you. Decreeing good things and seeing them be established unto other people. Just being that person that brings goodness and blessings and glory everywhere you go. That you truly leave people with a feeling of increase. They feel they can do more. They feel after being in your presence that there is more available to them. That life is better and getting better. Never let yourself get into this poverty mentality that causes and leads to other people being dragged down. Leads to yourself being dragged down. I understand you may have came about this mentality. Honestly, you didn't do it on your own. You didn't sit down and study and say, I'm going to be negative. I'm going to have a poverty mentality. It was probably way before you ever even considered anything consciously. When you were a child, things you got told no, you saw struggle in your family or in other relatives or people around you in your neighborhood, and you just somehow absorbed that mentality. There's not enough. There's a lack. There's limitation. There may not be enough tomorrow. I got to hoard. I can't be generous. I can't be a giver because there may not be enough tomorrow. So I got to hoard it back and keep it back. Which is exactly the thing that keeps people poor. The scripture says that if you give, it shall be given unto you. The scripture talks about how if you deal with a slack hand, you'll be made poor. But if you're generous, if you're liberal in your giving, you'll cast your bread upon the water and it will return many days hence. There's an abundance out there for you, my friend. And if your mentality has been rooted in things you were taught as a child, things of poverty, things of lack, things of limitation, know that you do not have to accept that. You can choose this day who you're going to serve. You can choose this day what you're going to believe. Are you going to choose life and blessing? Or are you going to choose poverty and lack, death, and cursing? My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.